Breaking news right now on NBC2. We are tracking a shooting in Fort Myers. Find out what officers are confirming to us right now.
No, put your hands down. No.
That principal caught on camera paddling a student, and this morning you'll hear from people speaking out and supporting her actions.
Whose goal in life was to save lives, and they took hers.
Breaking news at 5, an arrest after a woman's death. You will hear how her family is responding to what they say is the good news despite another tragedy.
Salons smashed. In just 5 minutes, we're in Lee County to show you the crime spree that has one woman in trouble with the law.
I could kind of see his face through the window, and I knew that it's nobody I'd ever seen before.
Lurking in your lanai. At 6:23, you gotta hear one homeowner's wild encounter. And vaccine doses, they're still going out, but not as many as we saw just a few months or even a few weeks ago.
In our final 10 minutes, you will see how the demand is dropping, plus where you can go today to book an appointment.
And you may soon have more options when it comes to getting your second shot. We've got the brand new information that you need to hear.
Breaking news, 2 controversial bills heading to the governor's desk this morning. The changes you can expect in schools and the next election.
Do you remember Hurricane Irma? For some here in Bonita Springs, it's hard to forget. We're tracking the progress our community's made since that devastating storm.
It is coming up on 5 o'clock. Thanks for watching on this Thursday morning. I'm Lisa Spooner.
And I'm Clay Miller. Good morning, everybody. We have a lot of breaking news for you, but the biggest thing right now is activity that's brewing right now in the tropics, and we're still not to hurricane season. And this is that time of year, too, when we start getting into this 5 a.m. advisories and stuff like that. I know we're not there yet or anything, but yeah, you're watching the storm out in the Atlantic, Jason.
Yeah, been watching this overnight, and things have changed just really in the number of hours here since last night. Maybe before you went to bed, you saw the odds of development were right around 40 to 50%, and now that has continued to increase as we're seeing this become a little bit better organized. Right now, it's not tropical, so we don't have a named system on the board, and this is attached to a cold front that's draped across the Atlantic, and sometimes this can help to trigger tropical development if the atmospheric conditions are right. So we've got this low here, and also it's going to move into some warmer water temperatures. So that's why we think here in the next 5 days, the chances of this developing into a subtropical system, which is just a hybrid between tropical and just a mid-latitude cyclone here, that comes up to around 80%. And Ana, again, would be the name. Now, we are just now starting to get some of the new spaghetti plots. It's been a while since we've seen probably some of these spaghetti models since going back to last season. So this is some new information I want to share with you. And this is going to kind of meander and maybe even work back close to Bermuda. At this point, does not appear it's going to be a threat to land. Definitely not a threat to the U.S. mainland. Eventually, this gets absorbed into another weather system, another cold front. It's going to take it out to sea harmlessly. But if anything, this is just a reminder that we're coming up quickly on the hurricane season. Now is a good time to pay attention and to make sure you and your family have a plan. Hopefully it's not as busy as it was last season, but indications are it could be a pretty busy season. 89 degrees out there today. Hold on to your hats. It's going to be another very windy day. We'll see some wind gusts up closer to 30 to 35 miles per hour. The wind combined with the dry air will help to enhance that fire danger. So this is county by county where we expect to see the highest fire threat. Lee, Charlotte, we're at a level 4. That's a very high fire danger. And you can see DeSoto, Glades, and Collier all to level 3. That's a high fire danger. Really anywhere in Southwest Florida, that potential is there, especially with those high winds getting into the afternoon. And we're going to see another drop in humidity on the way. I'll show you when that arrives and what that does to our nighttime temperatures ahead in your first alert forecast at 5:15.
Time now, 5:02. NBC2 is the place to be for breaking news this morning. We have a lot of it. We are live to show you the aftermath of an intense fire that sparked on top of the Lee County Jail core facility. We're also confirming new information about this crazy scene here in Collier County involving this stolen dump truck crash, followed by deputies firing shots.
Oh.
This morning, we can confirm the person behind the wheel of that dump truck is dead.
So this scene is still very active at this hour. Here's what we know right now. The Hendry County Sheriff's Office tells us this all started in LaBelle. We're told a man came out of a Burger King, said his dump truck was gone. The suspect then took off in that dump truck heading towards Collier County. Deputies joined the chase as the suspect crossed county lines, and then it ended when the dump truck careened into a canal. That crash happened on State Road 29 and Farm Worker Way in Immokalee. Well, we spoke to a witness who says, by the way, the driver was swerving and speeding. He knew it was not going to end well.
Very, very reckless, very reckless. Going through the village with a lot of kids and a lot of other people walking around.
NBC2's Nicolette Perdomo is at the scene right now working to confirm new information. She'll show you what it's looking like in a live report coming up at 5:14.
We want to get you out now to more breaking news. Take a look at your screen here. This is what the roof of the Lee County Jail Core facility looks like this morning. Heavily damaged after a fire. It happened last night on Ortiz Avenue in Fort Myers. Now take a look at this. This is what the fire looked like from the ground. That's scary. You can see the flames and smoke just billowing out of the top of the building.
It was a busy night, and that smoke from the fire, it could be seen from miles away. Look at this. This was actually captured on our tower camera over Fort Myers. Look at all that smoke. This morning, NBC2's Anissa Bohannon is live outside the facility. Anissa, we know a few inmates and deputies had to be checked out by EMS. Do we know how they're doing this morning?
Lisa, that's right. 4 people here, 2 deputies and 2 inmates were medically evaluated here on scene, but luckily everyone did manage to get out of the building safely. Everything looking calm here at the jail now, but take a look at your screen there. This is what the scene looked like just a few hours ago. Very different than what we're looking at right now this morning. Smoke could be seen billowing from the core jail facility's roof just before 7 p.m. Officials saying the fire was started by an HVAC system on the roof. Family members of those inside describe what the situation was like from the outside as smoke poured from the building.
I got a call around about 7:30. And all of a sudden I just hear these boys screaming, saying they can't breathe, they hollering. And I just was praying and hoping that my son was okay.
Everyone did get out okay. Inmates were temporarily relocated, but as you guys can see here behind me, everything looking calm here this morning. I'm live here in Lee County. Anissa Bohannon, NBC2.
Anissa, thank you. A Punta Gorda house is destroyed after going up in flames. Charlotte County Fire and EMS tell us that fire started around 10:30 last night on Austrian Boulevard. That's right off of Jones Loop Road east of 75. This is what the home looks like this morning. It's a total loss, and investigators say it could have even been worse because the flames sparked a small brush fire nearby. Everything is under control now. NBC2 talked to the woman who lives there. Listen as she describes what happened.
My husband heard like a pop, thought someone was in the house, so he got up to check, and that's when he saw that the back porch had an orange glow to it. I didn't hear anything this whole time, and he was dragging me by my feet out of the bed. And just yelling, get out of the house, get out of the house, it's on fire.
Sheila says her son bought a camper for her and her husband to stay in, and that neighbors are helping them out too. Right now, fire officials are still working to learn what caused the fire. Count on us to update you once we learn more.
Even more breaking news right now at 5:06. A man dressed in a fake police uniform tied up and robbed pawn shop employees in Hendry County. Here's a look at the scene. Deputies swarmed the Capitol Pawn Wednesday morning on Hickpatchee Avenue in LaBelle. Deputies say someone wearing a badge and a holster walked in and started giving employees and customers orders before tying them up. The sheriff's office won't tell us what he got away with, but we do know ATF is involved with the investigation. Count on NBC2 to stay on top of this story and bring you any new information as we get it. Also breaking, this is out of South Fort Myers. Neighbors tell us a shootout took over the Lago del Sol apartment complex. That's just off Gladiolas Drive. Our crews say Lee County deputies were seen picking up shell casings and placed evidence markers all over the ground last night. We also spotted one car with bullet holes in the windshield. And residents we spoke with say the shooting may have been in retaliation to a statement that was given to police about a prior crime that happened at that complex. Right now, NBC2 is working to learn what happened. It's 5:07. Our local water groups want something done about our water quality, so they have sent a letter to the Division of Environmental Assessment and Restoration. That letter is urging Florida officials to set water quality standards due to harmful blue-green algae blooms spotted in our waterways. What you're looking at right now is that sludgy blue-green algae that is clumping up in the Franklin Lock. We know a 500 square mile algae bloom is also spreading across Lake Okeechobee. Governor DeSantis is asking the Army Corps to lower water releases in the summer to help prevent harmful discharges to the Caloosahatchee.
Cape Coral is bracing for blue-green algae. Right now the canals are clean. However, the bubble curtain at the Mandolin Canal will be reactivated, and they are looking into getting and making more for other high-impact canals. The city will be doing surveys twice a week, and they'll release the results. Coming up at 5:30, NBC2 will be showing you the other places where blue-green algae has been spotted and what is being done about it.
So some slightly good news this morning. Red tide conditions clearing up a little bit, but they are still present along our coast. We're seeing less medium levels near Sanibel and Estero this morning. Unfortunately, though, you can take a look at those red dots down there in the Bonita Springs and Naples area. Those are high levels of the toxic tide, and this is, of course, what we do not want to see. Other news in coronavirus coverage. Today, first and second dose appointments are going to be happening at the Edison Mall vaccination site in Fort Myers. But soon you will have to go to a new place to get a shot because that vaccination site is moving again. The new site will be at the Department of Health office in North Fort Myers off Pondella Road. Vaccinations will continue at the mall through Friday, June 18th.
In Collier County, vaccinations are happening at the Department of Health in Naples. If you have an appointment, be sure to go to Building H. Vaccination appointments are full for today, but you can try to book a spot for tomorrow. We have all the links for you to do that. Make an appointment on the NBC2 News app and website. All you have to do is look under the Vax Facts tab.
I'm too old to sleep on the ground. It's been so long. I haven't slept in a bed in 11 months.
Time is running out for people calling Lions Park home.
They think we're like subhuman, but we're all people. We're all just trying to live.
Those with no place to go are about to get kicked out.
It's my understanding Friday morning, so that by Friday night, they will be gone.
Some are lucky, getting temporary housing and support from volunteers.
No more tents. I'm so excited. Hey, come on.
But others waking up to soaking wet tents and face the challenge of finding a new place to live today.
Yeah, that rain just coming through some hours ago. It's certainly a very sad reality for the homeless in the park this morning. I'm Clay Miller.
And I'm Kyla Gaylor. NBC2 has told you about this situation in Lions Park for weeks now. So let's get you out to NBC2's Claire Levazorio, who is live at the park this morning. Claire, what happens if people don't leave today?
It appears is going to have the benefit of the youthful offender sentence. However, this court will not withhold. If that changes your client's position, please take a few minutes and discuss it with him, but he will leave here a convicted felon.
So right there, that is Judge Robert Branning talking to Logan Hetherington and his team of lawyers, as Hetherington is the man, 20 years old, accused of hitting and killing 8-year-old Layla Aiken at her bus stop in March of last year in Cape Coral. All right, Megan, let's get right back to that breaking news right now, as Logan Hetherington is facing a Lee County judge again, expected to take a plea deal, but we're not exactly sure right now. Let's listen in.
Understand that you're here today entering a plea of guilty to count 2 vehicular homicide, a second-degree felony punishable by up to 15 years in the Department of Corrections.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am.
Alana Tamplin, Alana Stiano, Gregory Moore, Anita Johnson, Austin Mankey, Layla Eileen Aiken. All are victims of a continuing problem in our community, hit-and-run fatalities. We have a chance today to begin the process of justice to all these victims. But Layla was ours. On March 25th, 2019, shortly after 6 a.m., Layla kissed me goodbye. She was the last one out that door that morning. As she walked out, she looked back over her shoulder at me and smiled. I told her I loved her and have a good day. Approximately 15 minutes later, she would begin dying. In my mind, I can't stop seeing her look back at me and smile. Her brother saw a red truck traveling in the wrong lane slam into his little sister's head. He watched and heard the vehicle's tires crush her body. I say that again, he watched and heard them crush her body. He remembers this in vivid detail still. He states the truck nearly lost control before speeding away. They screamed for him to stop. He tells me what her body did as she lay there. How it looked like she had no teeth because her mouth was full of blood. And that her chest felt mushy when he attempted CPR, so he stopped. My son stopped a man who called 911. Alex ran home to me. I ran to her. I ran screaming her name. It took everything in me to gather the courage to look over that circle of EMTs, to see what my daughter looked like after Alex cried to me on the run there that she had been hit in the head and then run over. She was awake. She had woken up, I'm told, just before I arrived. Her beautiful face still looked the same, but the rest of her looked destroyed. She never spoke. She never looked at me again. She looked terrified and confused, like an animal caught in a trap.
Sir, go ahead.
I just want to say I'm truly sorry for what happened that morning.
Thank you, ma'am.
A very emotional scene that we all just watched play out right there. Logan Hetherington, 20-year-old man, has been given a youthful offender sentence for hitting and killing 8-year-old Layla Aiken at her Cape Coral bus stop last March. We just heard a really impactful victim statement from Layla's mother, Kathleen Redman, as she explained just the horrific moment where she saw Layla smile as she walked out her door towards her bus stop, and then 15 minutes later had no idea that her life was about to end.